future makers, welcome to TeacherPreneur. If you're a teacher, you would know that being a teacher is one thing and going through the journey of being a teacher is another. This journey is full of ups and downs and requires a lot of enthusiasm, patience and constant learning. As a new teacher, I understand that this journey is not as easy as you thought it would be, but don't worry, with my years of experience, I have come up with a few points on do's and don'ts of teaching that is really gonna help you ace this journey very quickly. So without wasting time, let's dive into the video. Let's start with the do's of teaching. The first thing that I would like to tell you is to observe other teachers and make notes. Nowadays, we are so busy in competing with others that we forget that we can learn from them too. Always remember collaboration over competition. You could always learn from people, and this could be a great give and take journey wherein you'll evolve as a person and learn many things. As a teacher, you need to observe other teachers. You need to try and interact with them to know what are their methodologies of teaching, what has worked for them, what has not worked for them, and use that experience to your advantage. Remember, by observing, you do not have to copy them as it is, but with their experience, you can come up with your teaching methodology that can work for you better in your classrooms. The next do for teaching is to model the right behavior. We often tend to forget this, but this is very important. Have you heard, you attract what you give? So if you want your students to behave respectfully, you must first learn to give respect to them. If you want discipline in your classroom, you yourself have to be disciplined. If you want your students to come on time, you first need to come on time. If you want them to have clean and tidy desks, then you yourself should have a neat and clean desk so that you can model the correct behavior and they know exactly what to follow and how to follow. As a teacher, have to be consistent with this one, but if you do, in the long run you'll realize that when your students grow up, some part of them will be coming from these behaviors of yours that you never know that you did subconsciously. The next do of teaching is to have non-verbal cues in your classroom. What do I mean is, communication does not only happen through words, but it also happens through actions. So your eye contact, your hand gestures or some other activity or actions that you've decided for your class might work to share a great bond with your kids. It's not always necessary to go by words or by language. Rather, have your own sign language and rock it with your kids. I've seen teachers use this and get amazing results. Like one of the teachers used this for understood. So if she's teaching any concept, before leaving the class, she'll just do this, and all the kids, if they've understood, they'll just repeat this and she knows that her class was successful. So go ahead, show your creativity and use this in your classroom and let me know if it worked or not. The next do of teaching is to set goals for the classroom. It's not necessary to have one goal for all the students, but different students can have different goals. Teach them how important it is to set a goal, work towards it, and feel that joy when that goal is accomplished. You can start with having short-term goals and then they can gradually shift to having long-term goals. Teach them the importance of SMART goals, that is specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-based goals. Trust me when I say this, when you work with a child in their journey towards achieving their goal, they are going to remember you forever and their respect for you is going to increase manifold. The next do that I would like to suggest is to allow your children to be independent risk takers. What I mean is, whenever a child makes a mistake, it's okay. Let him make the mistake and let him figure out why he is wrong, where he is wrong, and how can he reach to the right answer. At times, when you just display the right answer on the board and someone gives a wrong answer and you bully that person down, he or she does not become a risk taker. Rather, he starts doubting himself on where did he go wrong and will he ever be able to make good decisions in life. Rather, let the children make a mistake, own a mistake and learn out of it. These children will definitely be successful in their life and they're going to thank you forever for this one thing that you're going to follow in your classroom. Knowing what not to do is as important as knowing what to do. So now let's dive into the don'ts of teaching and make sure that you don't do this. A strict no-no for a teacher is to focus on teacher-centered learning. The whole education system is student-centered, right? So your teaching should also be based on your students. Each of your students come from different backgrounds, different batches and different groups. So you cannot have one teaching strategy for all of them. I know it's very easy to come in the class, teach, they will take notes, give the assignments and it's done. But I think it's better if we know our children, let them explore stuff, collaborate, have project-based learning, have activity-based learning and grow together as a class. Imagine how enjoyable that classroom will be. So from today, collaboration, creativity and interaction should be your teaching mantra. The next don't for teaching is don't go to the class unprepared. Nowadays, kids are smarter than you think. If you take more time in teaching or if you go a little bit slow, they will definitely figure out that there's something wrong and this gives them room. So my suggestion would be prepare for the class, know your subject matter well, take amazing teaching aids and keep interacting with your kids and I know your class will be very successful. The next not to do for teaching is to not judge or yell at your students. Remember when you were a student and some teacher knocked at you in front of the class, you felt so bad, you felt so embarrassed. Why do you want some student of yours to feel like that? As a teacher, be that change and do not yell or judge your student, at least in public. If you have some issue, you can deal with the situation calmly in front of everyone and then deal with the child separately. I understand that sometimes students do not understand you and they misbehave in the class, but if you remain calm and you just keep on doing what you are supposed to do, you teach in a very delightful manner, someday that will bring a positive change in your kids and make sure that rules and discipline plus games and interaction is what will make your class successful. The next thing that you have to remember is to not take anything personally. Just like any other job, this job has its own struggles and rejections. Sometimes you will not go well with the parents, sometimes it will not go well with the organization, your fellow teachers, your students. There are a lot of people that you'll keep on interacting with in your journey as a teacher, and of course you cannot go well with all of them. But remember, all of the people in the organization have only one aim, to give their best to the children so that they can excel in life. And you all are working towards the same aim, but your ideologies may be different. So understand some people, forgive and forget and just move on. Don't take anything to your head. Don't take anything to your heart as well. Just let go of everything. Be practical and be in the present manner rather than taking your past with you or taking today's present in the future. Just take the day as it comes and go with the flow and all shall be well with you. And the last thing that you should strictly avoid as a teacher is to think that you know everything. As a teacher, even though you may be teaching this topic for years now, there is always scope of improvement. In the era of internet, in this ever-changing world, new and new things keep on coming and adding. Also, the innate abilities of your students are changing. They just go to the internet and they can find any piece of information. To deal with these students, you have to keep on learning and you can never say that I know it all. Teaching is one profession that creates all other professions, but this job also has its unique frustrations. There are some pros of teaching and some cons of teaching which you have to cater to in your teaching journey. I have made a video on the pros and cons of teaching. I think it'll be worth watching. So why don't you give it a watch by pressing on the I button or the link in the description, and I'm sure it'll be worth your time. Thank you for watching the whole video. When one teaches, two learn. So be a learner, be a teacher and keep growing forever. If you have some more time, then kindly watch my video of pros and cons of teaching and I think you'll like it. Comment and tell me what are your non-negotiable do's and don'ts. Share this video with your teacher friends and family and subscribe to TeacherPreneur for more such videos. See you soon.